You slept 8 hours last night. You didn't drink. You didn't skip the gym. You're doing everything right. And yet you feel absolutely wiped out. Not tired, not a little sleepy. Wiped. Like someone unplugged you at the socket. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something. The problem is not your discipline. It's not your sleep hygiene. It's not even your stress levels. At least, not in the way you've been told. Because there is a hidden mechanism running underneath all of that. One that mainstream wellness culture almost never talks about. And once you see it, once you actually understand what is happening inside your body and your energy system, everything starts to make sense. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you what that mechanism is. We're going to look at what modern neuroscience says, what 3,000-year-old Eastern medicine figured out way before the lab coats arrived, and, most importantly, what you can actually do about it today. Without buying anything, stay with me. Here's the thing everyone gets wrong about exhaustion. They treat it as a fuel problem. Not enough sleep? Add more sleep. Not enough energy? Add caffeine. Add B vitamins. Add an adaptogen stack from a brand that charges $40 for a bag of mushroom powder. But what if exhaustion isn't about running low on fuel at all? What if it's about a leak? Think about it this way. Imagine your energy as water in a tank. You can pour water in every single morning. 8 hours of sleep, a clean diet, a meditation practice, whatever. But if there's a hole in the tank, none of it matters. You will always end the day empty. The question that almost nobody asks is, where is the hole? And here's the part that shocked researchers when the data started coming in. The answer, according to both cutting-edge neuroscience and ancient Eastern medical traditions, which arrived at the same conclusion from completely different directions, is this: chronic low-grade activation of your threat detection system is the single biggest drain on human energy. Not your workload, not your diet, not even poor sleep, though that's a symptom of the same problem, your nervous system. Specifically, a nervous system that never fully turns off. Your autonomic nervous system has two main branches. You've probably heard of them: the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, and the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. The sympathetic system is your alarm system. It mobilizes resources. It floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline. It sharpens your vision, accelerates your heart, diverts blood to your muscles. This system is extraordinary. It is also extraordinarily expensive to run. Here's the problem with modern life. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a predator chasing you through the woods and an unread email sitting in your inbox at 11 p.m. Both register as a threat. Both trigger the same cascade. And if that trigger fires dozens of times a day, which for most people it does, your system never fully returns to baseline. The cortisol keeps coming. The alarm never fully shuts off. But here's where this gets disturbing. A 2019 paper from King's College London found that this constant low-level activation eventually causes inflammation in the brain itself. The immune system, having run in emergency mode for so long, starts producing signals that make the brain feel foggy, slow, and profoundly exhausted. This is not a metaphor. The brain physically registers fatigue as a protective shutdown signal. It is telling you, the system is overloaded. Back off. And this next part surprised even the researchers studying it. Chronic cortisol exposure doesn't just exhaust your mind. It degrades the efficiency of your cell's energy production at the molecular level. Less energy generated, more wasted. Not because you aren't sleeping enough, but because the recovery your body does during sleep is being compromised by the stress running underneath it. Same sleep, less restoration. That's the mechanism. Now here is where it gets genuinely fascinating, because Eastern medicine went even further. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, has a concept called qi, often translated simply as life energy or vital force. And for a long time, Western science dismissed this as mysticism, unquantifiable, unscientific. But look at what TCM practitioners observed thousands of years ago, through nothing but careful attention to the human body. They said that exhaustion is not a problem of quantity of energy. It is a problem of flow. In TCM, one of the primary causes of chronic fatigue is something called qi stagnation, a state where the body's energy circulates poorly, gets blocked, pools in some areas, and is absent in others. The result: you feel depleted even when you haven't done much. You feel tired but wired. You cannot relax even when you rest. Sound familiar? That description maps almost perfectly onto what neuroscience now calls autonomic dysregulation, a nervous system stuck between activation and recovery, unable to complete either cycle properly. Same phenomenon, different vocabulary, 3,000 years apart. But here's the part nobody in the wellness space talks about. TCM also describes something deeper than qi, called jing, the foundational reserve, the battery beneath the battery. And unlike qi, which you can replenish daily, jing is very difficult to restore once it's gone. What depletes it? Overwork, chronic worry, irregular living, burning the candle at both ends for years. Ayurvedic medicine calls the same thing ojas, the deep substrate of vitality and immunity. When it's low, a person feels chronically tired, anxious, foggy. They have all the resources, but cannot access them. Two traditions, same continent-spanning insight. There is a level of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix because it lives deeper than sleep reaches. And modern science is only now catching up to what that means biologically. Okay, so what do you actually do with this? I'm going to give you 5 things. Not supplements, not hacks. Actual practices that address the root mechanism we've been talking about. Each one is backed by both modern research and traditional medicine. Number 1, complete the stress cycle physiologically. Your nervous system doesn't calm down because you've decided to calm down. It calms down because you complete the biological stress cycle. The research on this comes largely from Doctors Emily and Amelia Nagoski. The cycle is completed by physical movement. Not intense exercise, just movement. A 20-minute walk after a stressful event tells your body the threat has passed. The cortisol clears. The system resets. This single practice, done consistently, is probably the highest leverage thing on this list. Number 2, the physiological sigh, the fastest nervous system reset known to science. Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has popularized this, but it's well documented. A double inhale through the nose, 2 sharp sniffs, followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth. 2 or 3 cycles. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system faster than any other deliberate breathing pattern. 2 minutes before a meeting, after a difficult call, before bed. Free, instant, effective. Number 3, non-sleep, deep rest. Sleep is not the only form of recovery. Yoga Nidra, a practice from the Indian tradition now extensively studied in sleep neuroscience, involves lying still and following a guided body scan protocol for 20 to 30 minutes. Studies show it replenishes dopamine reserves, reduces cortisol, and produces brain states similar to deep sleep in the middle of the day. If you find yourself crashing at 2 in the afternoon, this is your intervention. Number 4. Address the leak, not just the tank. Audit your daily threat triggers. What fires your stress response that you've normalized? Constant notification pings. News consumption first thing in the morning. A conversation you've been avoiding for 3 weeks. Each of these has a small but real physiological cost. Removing 1 or 2 of the biggest leaks can recover more energy than adding an hour of sleep. TCM would call this clearing the blockages to let qi flow. Neuroscience calls it reducing allostatic load. Same thing. Number 5. Protect the deep reserve. In the spirit of Jing and Ojas, the foundational reserve, there are certain non-negotiables that are not about adding more, but about stopping the drain. 1. No screens for 30 minutes after waking. The blue light and information load activate cortisol before your system has completed its natural morning recovery arc. 2. 1 genuine day of rest per week. Not productive rest, not organized leisure, unstructured, unscheduled time where nothing is demanded of you. This is not laziness. This is maintenance of your deepest physiological reserves. So let's come back to where we started. You slept 8 hours. You're doing everything right. And you're still exhausted. You're not broken. Your system is not failing. Your system is doing exactly what a system does when it's been asked to run a continuous threat response for weeks, months, or years without a genuine reset. The tank isn't empty. The tank has a hole. Here's my challenge to you this week. Not all 5 practices, just one. Pick the one that resonated most. Do it every day for 7 days. Not to fix everything, just to observe what happens when you give your nervous system one genuine signal per day that the threat is passed. That's it. One signal. 7 days. I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually think about it before you answer. When did you last feel genuinely rested? Not just not tired, actually rested, restored. Like you woke up and your first thought wasn't already about what needed to get done. Drop it in the comments. The year is fine. Because I think for a lot of people, it's been longer than they'd like to admit. And that gap says something important about the world we've built for ourselves. And if you want to go further, do you think modern life is deliberately keeping us in survival mode? Or is it just an accidental side effect of progress? That conversation is happening in the comments right now, and it's one worth having. And if you know someone who is chronically exhausted and can't figure out why, someone who is doing all the right things and still running on empty, send them this. It might be the reframe they've been needing. Take care of your nervous system. It is taking care of you.